This video is sponsored by Grains and Smiles, guaranteed nutrition for your family.
Hello, my name is Dr. Abigail Dodwasaki, popularly known as Dr. Adams on social media. I'm a medical doctor aspiring to be a public health specialist and a pediatrician. I'm married with one boss baby. I call her boss baby because, well, I love animations and she's our first child and she has a mind on her own. So, well, I call her boss baby. It's a girl. She's 1 year old in some months. How many kids they are planning to have? Me, I want triplets. My husband wants just one more. The day before I found out I was pregnant, it was a Thursday. I came back from work. I had low abdominal pains. So when it comes to my menstrual cycle, I'm not a regular person. You know, there are people who are regular 28 days and there are people who are around 32 to 35. So I'm always after 28. So I was having lower abdominal pains. I called my husband that day and I told him I wasn't feeling well. He was busy, so he didn't call me back. So when I went home, I was angry. I was like, I wasn't feeling well. I told you and you didn't call me back. So I just went quickly to shower and it was severe. So I told my doctor, so I told myself, oh, this lower abdominal pain, though I'm not having pain on micturition, that is urinating, maybe I have a urinary tract infection. So I went to lie down and I was sad. So I said I won't eat. And then my husband came in like, oh, eat. I'm sorry, I didn't call you. I was like, no, I won't eat. So back and forth. And then he said, oh, what if you are pregnant? I'm like, I don't think so, because that Monday I started sporting, and usually because I come late, my menses are always after 28. I was like, nah, it's not that one. But he said, what if you are pregnant? I was like, if I'm pregnant, then maybe I might be getting a miscarriage, because well, medically, being a medical doctor, I was like, if you're going to have a miscarriage, pain, severe lower abdominal pain. So I ruled that one out. I went to work on Friday and I told the nurses, I'm not feeling so well. I have lower abdominal pain. So I just took Brufen. But I want to do a urinary, that's a urine routine examination to check whether I have a urinary tract infection. So one of the nurses said, oh, Dr. Saki, let's do UPT, that's urine pregnancy. I was like, I don't think I'm pregnant, but anyway, let's do it. So we did it and she came back, she was holding the paper and she said, congratulations. So yes, I was like, oh, we are pregnant, because we planned not to get pregnant that year. We got married in August and we planned to have babies the following year. So I was supposed to do calculations. He was supposed to do calculations. Well, none of us were doing it. So I went home and that same day I took a scan. Yeah, that same day I took a scan. So I went home, everything was fine. We had dinner, we were about to sleep, we prayed, and then I showed him the scan. Then I was like, do you know what this is? He saw it, like, what is it? I said, look, what is it? He read, he couldn't, it was a small picture, you know, he couldn't see anything. He was like, are you pregnant? I said, yeah. I'm pregnant. And he just went blank for a while. It was a scene. He was happy because we got married in August. I found out I was pregnant in October. I had not seen him dance in church before, but that Sunday he went in front and was dancing. I was like, yeah, he really is happy. So yeah, that's how we found out. Pregnancy is nice. Everyone is different. Every pregnancy is different. I had morning sickness throughout. First trimester, second trimester, third trimester, I was vomiting throughout. Eating was difficult. I could not sit and eat alone. So hi to all those nurses that time at Nabita Hospital. They were really helpful, especially the nurse in charge, Carol, Vida. I cannot mention all names, but I'm really, really grateful. They'll always check up on me. Dr. Saki, have you eaten? They'll bring fruits, they'll bring this. because I could not eat alone. If you left me alone, the days I was off duty, my mom would call several times, my husband would call several times just to check up on me whether I've eaten. It was difficult because I was always vomiting. I could not eat my own food. So we had to buy lots of foods outside. My husband cooks, but he's not a good cook. I know I'm going to get into trouble for this. Hi, sweetie. He's not a good cook, so my mom was doing most of the cooking. She'll cook and then she'll send it to us. My husband, I call him Boss Daddy, he'll try and make some breakfast here and there, but basically we're eating from mom and then what we go by. Eating, like I said, was difficult. So for the first trimester, it was more of fufu. I was eating lots of fufu. Then it came to spaghetti and shito. Then during the third trimester, I was more of kinky. I could eat kinky morning, afternoon, and evening. Kinky, but I was transferred to Kofori at that time, so the kinky said, "Let me do one way." Whom say, So the main problem for me was the vomiting. Yes, I vomited throughout. It was terrible. And then I was admitted somewhere, I think second trimester. So Sobolo, I love Sobolo. Everyone knows I love Sobolo on Facebook. I did not know that was the reason I was admitted. So my husband was a best man to one of his friends. That Saturday we went to a wedding and I drank a lot. The cups were big and I think I had like 4 cups. So that was Saturday. On Sunday morning I started having severe contractions and I was in my second trimester. And second trimester, you are not supposed to have that severe and intense contractions. So we're going to church and I told my husband, no, we have to go to the hospital. We went and I was having continuous severe hard contractions. So I was admitted for 3 days. After the admission, anytime I went to work and I had Sobolo, I had contractions. So I started monitoring myself. The day I did not have Sobolo, nothing. And the days I had Sobolo, I had contractions. So I started reading about it, and I started talking to specialists, gynaecists about it, obstetrician gynecologists about it. That they've also had experiences where some women even lost babies, lost their pregnancy because of Sobolo. Everyone is different. I know I put on Facebook and we had a discussion. People were able to share experiences. Some even drank throughout their whole pregnancy. Nothing happened to them. Others had complications. So that was it. And I've always been anemic. I bleed a lot during my menses, so I've always been anemic. And when you are pregnant, you have something we call hemodilution. And well, I got severely anemic when I was pregnant. I was eating well, if someone is around me, I could eat. But I was really anemic. So I was put on some medications, IV medications. And after the IV medications, I could not move some of my fingers. I mean, it could go stiff for a while. And this even happened after pregnancy. It went on for like 1 month or so. Not all the time. It could become flexible, then stiff at a time. Painful, these 3 and this 2. So sometimes when baby was crying, my husband or my mom has to pick baby up for me, and well, it was a phase and we went through it at all. So when it comes to the fun part, being able to manipulate being able to manipulate your husband is really nice. I mean, I could get my way around anything. All I have to do is to start sulking and then like into 1 year, and then you see him doing it. I come back from work and then I'm like, oh, I mean, I am here massaging my. He's like, oh, okay, then I'm into TV. Into TV and so I massage me. I know. I mean, I am here. When I'm carrying your child, do you know how heavy your child is? Oh, we are sorry, dear daddies, we are sorry, but then sometimes it's fun. Like, oh, so I'm carrying your child and you want to watch football before you massage my waist? Are you serious? Then, well, they went through a lot, but I did not worry him when it comes to, oh, I'm craving for this, drive all the way here and go get me that. No, it was basically like getting him to do things for me. Oh, I want to sleep at the side of the bed. No, okay, I want to sleep by the side of the bed. Maybe he's feeling cold, but I'm insisting we should switch on the fan or something. So it was a compromise. It's not something big, but manipulating here and there is nice. I put up a post on Facebook one time when I intentionally cried. Well, I was having mood swings where I could cry on my own. On the days when I was off duty, I'll just be sad. Why am I home alone? Me. I'm a very active person. So the whole I'm home, I'm pregnant, I'm hungry but I don't want to eat was making me sad. My mood swings were like this. So I could just take a video of myself crying. Then I'll send it to my husband and you see, you are going to work. You are enjoying yourself at work. And me, I'm home alone. So I had those mood swings. And this big one happened. We were home and I had forgotten what we quarreled about, and he slept. Well, we prayed and then he slept. I couldn't sleep, and I didn't understand why I couldn't sleep and why he was sleeping. So he apologized for whatever we fought for. I don't remember what the fight was about. So I started crying. This one, it was intentional crying. I woke up, I started crying. Hey, this guy was just still sleeping. I mean, Obi is now older. And then God has his own humor. It started raining, so it drained my sound, the cries. So I had to. I said me, and I was crying. Then I would just shift small to his side so that he can hear that I'm crying. I cried, then he woke up. What is wrong? Hey, is it the baby? Is it your back? Are you feeling well? And I was still crying. And I'm like, my waist is paining me. I'm sleeping. I'm feeling hungry. I love Vitamilk, so we always had Vitamilk in the fridge. So he bought Vitamilk. He brought biscuits. Things started massaging. Basically, I just wanted attention. So I also apologized, and then we went back to sleep. So there were fun moments. In all, my pregnancy was some wavy. I could not even do pregnancy photo shoots. I felt terrible. I had rashes. When I would go to work, the only time I was really happy or I forget that I'm pregnant is when I go to work. I love the interaction with patients. I was at the pediatric department, Eastern Regional Hospital. So the nurse in charge would just budget, hey, Dr. Saki, why? So I used to enjoy that time consultation. But I just felt miserable. I was hot. I was weak. My back, because I was anemic, something small, I get tired. It was a whole lot, but we thank God here. It's bringing another life into the world isn't easy. So we are grateful, and we pray that our partners forgive us when we worry you, but you cannot imagine how it is. And always remember, I always say that every pregnancy is different. The fact that your friend had it easy doesn't mean you'll have it easy. The fact that you have 3 babies doesn't mean your 4th pregnancy will be easy or will go the same way as your 3 pregnancies. So mothers are super. You guys are doing so well. We guys are doing so well. Yeah. So God bless us. I delivered on Saturday, and I was in Koforidua at that time. I was with my mom because I was so anemic and I wasn't well. My mom and my husband were doing shifts. So my mom stays with me from Mondays to Fridays. She goes to Accra, and then my husband comes to take over during the weekend because he was working in Tema. So he'll come and take over. So my mom was supposed to go that Friday evening. But my husband called and said they had a meeting on Saturday, so he cannot make it. So he asked my mom to stay with me over the weekend and then the next week. My boss told me, I was around 38 weeks. Yeah, I was 38 weeks. Yeah. She told me that I was supposed to go on leave the following week from my 39th week. That's when I was supposed to go on leave to prepare for baby. We woke up, I went to work on Friday, everything was fine. Usually when I'm eating, that's when baby moves. So we named her way before she came out. So her name is Lubov. So I'll say, Lu, what is this? On Friday, she was kicking. And I was having some small lower abdominal pains. But I'm a doctor, so I know, okay, this is usual. I was doing exercises every evening. On that Saturday morning, after taking my bath, my mom was bathing. I was like, Mama Lu, I'm having severe lower abdominal pains. It's not the same pains that I've been having all week. She was like, are you sure? Just lie down and relax. I went to lie down. I took my bath. I went to lie down. Then it was severe. So she quickly finished bathing and she put me in a taxi and we went to the hospital. So we got to the hospital. and emergency unit for pregnant women. And after examination, they found out that I was 2 cm. If you've ever been giving birth, you know it starts from 0 to 10. So 2 cm, it means I'm not in active labor. Yes. So, but labor has started. So they sent me to the they sent me to the labor ward. Funny thing is, Koforidua Eastern Regional Hospital. Thank you guys. You guys are doing so well. They have a place for doctors and staff. So I was supposed to book one of the rooms, but because I knew I wasn't having signs, I had not booked. So when we went, the place was full. I was like, don't worry, I'll just go to the normal room for pregnant women. We went and I was in pain, so I was just holding on to, I was leaning against the wall doing this. And then there was a woman there, and she said, my mom was following me, there was nurses, protocol here, doctor. That's the only thing, that's one of the things we enjoy. So one of the, I cut my hair, it wasn't colorful like this. One of the patients, teenager Saba, now, I wasn't wearing any rings. I love rings, but I was big, so I had taken this off. Teenagers, Saba, and I was in so much pain, I just looked at her like this, and I was just pushing the wall. And one of the nurses said, hey, we need to know. Dr. Sakino, I said, like, hey. I could not even laugh because I was in so much pain. Before that, I had arranged with my boss. He was a gynecologist, obstetrician gynecologist. I wanted to do epidural. Now, epidural is something I'm also advocating for. It's not so popular in Ghana, but outside Ghana, a lot of women do it. They put a pin just like you're going to do CS. But the thing is, you don't get paralyzed from here. You feel everything. It's just that you don't feel the pain of labor. So the anesthetist that I'd spoken to had traveled outside the country. Luckily, he told some of his mates before he left, so they knew about me and they quickly came in and they prepared and everything. So after we inserted epidural, they gave the medication, free bonto. I was just there I was talking, I was taking videos, I was taking pictures, and I could hear other women screaming, hey, say. Maybe I was just enjoying. My mom was there, we had a cubicle. My mom was there, my husband was in his meeting, so he'll call, how are you, this. But I was just enjoying with the epidural. If you're going to give birth in a hospital that has that provisions, please ask about it. Just find out, do your own research, talk to people, be enlightened on it so that you make your own decision. It has to be an informed decision, something you want. I liked it. Anytime I'm going to give birth again, of course, I'm going for epidural. No one ever won an award for suffering labor pain. So be a winning award and say, if you can have labor without some of the pain, actually, why not? So find out about it. So I went through like that. But when it goes to the time for me to push, my anesthetist, because the one I came in agreement with was outside the country. This one who was monitoring me was also doing a case in another place. So they went to call him, but that's the time I felt the pain, the pushing out pain. And my mom was there. She was holding, you are doing well. I mean, push. When they said, oh, Nitiniba, I didn't believe. I thought they were just giving me fake fans. So I push, and baby came out. The first thing I was like, hey, Akolawe, why betray me, Papa? Just like the father. Me, I'm a brain. She came out, I was like, hey, sister, what's baby? Why betray me? Looks so much like the father. And yeah, that was it. So when baby came out, yes, I saw her. I said, hey, sister, what's baby? Why betray me? She looks so much like the father. But there's that feeling of, me, this is mine. I kept saying this baby. If you follow me on Facebook, you know I've been saying women should be able to say the word vagina. Vagina is like any private part. It's like any part of your body. It's like your nose, it's like your eye. So vagina. I kept saying. So this baby came out from my vagina. Like this baby. This is mine. This baby grew. She grew inside me. This baby. And in the night, I'm a doctor. It's so funny. I really am a doctor. The baby was just sleeping and I went to check her pulse. I was checking her pulse from here and I'm like, let me see. Then I'll check her pulse from here. Then I'm like, let me see whether she's breathing. Then I'll just unwrap her. Let me count her respiratory rate. I was just doing so many things. I'm like, is the baby alive? Is she alive? Why is she lying there just like that? And it's funny because when someone I have a patient, the patient is behaving, I'm like, Charlie, relax, mommy, relax, why sanity? But this is me, and I was just freaking out, like, hey, is she this? Is she this? Is she breathing? Then I just go like that, I'll just poke her. Why aren't you opening your eyes? Why are you this quiet? Cry. And then she wasn't crying. I'll put her to breast, and then she was just, and then stop. I'm like, is this baby fine? I had to call the nurse to check her blood sugar. I was like, she hasn't fed. I was just fussy the first 3 days, especially that first night. I was just checking her. Anytime I did not sleep just like this. I had her here. I was like, what if someone steals this baby? This baby that came from our vagina. What if someone steals this baby? So I was just like this. I'll just sleep small. Hey, she's here. Okay, she's fine. Let me check her pulse. Let me check that. I was fussing. It's God's gift to us, and I pray that anyone who is looking for a child, who is looking for a baby, that God should bless them with the fruits of the womb so that they also be happy. That is if you want. I pray this prayer for you in Jesus' name. Amen. So epidural is a type of anesthesia that is given to pregnant women to take away the pain during labor. Personally, why I think it's not popular in Ghana is because we do not have that many anesthetists. When you're doing epidural, you need one specialist, the anesthetist, to stay by you, monitor you. There are things they need to monitor. But Charlie, we all know we have this problem in Ghana. So we do not have that luxury to have per patient one anesthetist. We do not have, a whole hospital can just have two anesthetists. And just imagine if 10 women are in labor, that person will be overwhelmed. So if you go to a facility that can offer you that procedure, just talk to your doctor, your obstetrician gynecologist, or your medical officer, or whoever is taking care of you. Weigh it out. Are there complications? There are complications to everything. That is why we sign when you are doing any procedure in the hospital. But so far as you trust the hospital, you trust the medical health workers taking care of you, it is safe. I've heard stories where someone said, I got paralyzed later on. I cannot comment on that, but the ones I've seen, the women I know who've gone through this are all fine. I saw a mother whose baby came out and had Down syndrome, and she was relating it, connecting it to the epidural. No, if you're a medical person or even a layman should know that Down syndrome has got to do with your chromosomes. There's something wrong there. It's got nothing to do with the epidural. Your baby will come out kicking and all. It's just like spine. It's a pain. It goes through your spine. So people who've had CS, and there's nothing like, I did not have that pain. You know, when you have that spinal process done at your back, most people will come back with pain. I did not have that pain. I was sitting up. No, I did not have any complications after. But like I already said, make an informed decision. Talk to your doctor. Make sure that they have those things to monitor you, and then they have one anesthetist. You are going to pay, of course. I don't think National Health Insurance covers for that, or I don't know about the other insurances, but just ask, how much is it? How long will the person be there? What's the process? And be informed. It's nice. Outside the country, no one should go through. Labor is hard. The labor is So if there's a process that can take away some of the pain and make you have free labor, then why not? So baby came home. We went to Ablekoma. That's where my parents live, and my husband was coming to visit during the weekends. Having a baby is hard. It's difficult. It's hard. It's difficult. I cannot overemphasize it. And you need help. Do not be shy to ask for help. Postpartum depression is so real. It's so real. You need help. If your mother is willing to help, let her. If your mother-in-law, let her. Grandma, anyone, family, friends, so far as they are doing the right thing, let them help you. It was difficult. She could wake up like 4 times or 5 times in the night, feeding her. She's crying. You are giving her breast milk she doesn't want to take. You don't know. My mom, oh, God bless our mothers. Mama Lou, God bless you so much. She'll come and sleep. She moved from her room, came to my room. She was sleeping with us. Sometimes I'll wake up feeding her and she'll like, Mommy, and then she'll take baby. She did so well. It wasn't easy. I'm telling you, it's not easy. So you need all the help you can gather. If someone is willing to help you, please let them help. Cooking, washing, all those things. My mom, my dad, my dad, he would just pop in if Boss baby is also called Nanama. He would just pop in like, I don't know Nanama, where's Sundama? What are you doing to Nanama? Where's Sundama? What? I'm like, me and shame, me man for me and so on Abu friend so then you just come, Nanama, Jason I. So our parents are super, thank you. Anyone who's helped any mother throughout the journey, Yamin Shramo, God bless you so much. Immunization, I think I stopped fasting. The whole new baby thing stopped after first week. Once in a while I'll say, hey, this baby came out from our vagina, my baby. I mean, I still do it, but when we went to immunization, I knew she had to get it. So it was the father, of course, daddy's girl. So she was hanged. When she was hanged, she started screaming. Screaming, and then the first injection, she did not cry. The second one, then daddy came, what is it saying? Charlie, relax. So yeah, it's needed. So I did not fuss about it. I knew she needed it. The problem came because of her weight. She wasn't gaining weight that much. I wasn't worried because I had examined her and I knew she was not malnourished. And of course, I'm a doctor and we all advocate for exclusive 6 months breastfeeding. But Boss Baby did not like breast milk in a bottle. She did not like breast milk in a cup. She liked from the source. So it was difficult. It was my mom who was taking care of her. I went back to work when she was 3 months and I did exclusive. I just want to tell mothers out there that if you do not have any problem, if there's nothing challenging you, try. Breast milk has so many good things for baby. So if you can, please, the best. It cannot be overemphasized. So though she did not like it in a cup, in a feeding, but in fact, my baby did not use a feeding, but we had a lot. She would not take it. She would just then spit it out. So we're using that silicone bottle with a spoon at the edge, and that's what. So she wasn't gaining that much weight, but I wasn't worried because she wasn't malnourished. So when you want to wean baby off breast milk, we always say go to the doctor, speak to the doctor. You know, there are a lot of people, first-time mothers. I always enjoy talking to first-time mothers because everyone is giving them advice. You say, ya kolani say, or to train muches ne food dane, or ne aketwa. There are a lot of things they tell them, sano. So it's fun talking to first-time mothers. You know, there are lots of things they do not know, which is normal. So when you are doing that, when you are confused, just go to the hospital. Transitioning isn't easy. Every baby is different. Some babies will eat. My niece, Lucy, she likes food. When she was a baby, she will eat. There are some babies too who do not like food. You have to encourage them, or you have to not force. When I say force, not like holding them down, but my baby, for instance, Nanama, you can feed her for 1 hour. Because she'll be roaming, she'll sit for some seconds and be roaming, but every baby is different. So moving from breast milk to the solid foods, we call it complementary feeds. And complementary feeds does not mean that you stop breast milk. It's together. You start the porridges, but you are complementing it to the breast milk. The breast milk is still the main thing, and you add the porridges to it. So that's what we call complementary feeds. We usually say that you start with a few grains. Someone will start Tom Brown, and then in her Tom Brown, she has like 5 grains. So if the child is reacting, how will you know? So we usually advise that you start from 1 grain cereals, porridges. You are doing just 1 grain. You want to do rice, more cocoa for her, fine, just rice. You want to do more cocoa for her, just more cocoa. You want to do millet, just millet, so that you can monitor if the child is reacting to something or not. The child is going to sometimes when you start feeding complementary feeds, the child might have constipation. Go to the doctor. Do not do enema at home, please. Enema can cause a lot of issues. Do not do enema. Just go to the doctor and tell the doctor this. We'll walk you through it. Your baby is not the first to have issues, and it's not going to be the last. We see these things. When you come, we'll walk you through it. It is not easy. Everyone will be giving you advice. So moving from the 1 grain cereal or the 2 grain cereals, then you'll be adding on to it the fruit. I've realized that this red book that is given to mothers during ANC, people do not read. And it is bad. ANC, read the book. The book belongs to you. When you go home, read. We've explained everything, why a child needs 4-star ingredients in her meal every day. But people will come to the consulting room and you know that they have not read anything. Just take the book and read. It gives you guidelines. Ghana Health Service is doing well on that. There are guidelines in it. And when you have questions, you also come back to us and then we'll add on to it. We have a lot of videos. She met her milestones. She started sitting around 3 months on her own. She started getting up around 5 months. She's an active baby, very, very active. My mom would say, "Why I could cry to say the mommy?" That is me. She's just tall like her father, but she met all her milestones. She was very active. There was a time our bed is high, and we thought she cannot. By the time you see, even when she started crawling, by the time you see, she's already down and crawling. She loved going to the kitchen so much. We used to make fun out of it that she's going to be a chef. By the time you see her just in the hall, she's disappeared. She's in the kitchen, and then she'll be just smashing things together. She walked at 11 months, and she's just a strong baby. She met all her milestones. So some of the exercises you can do when you're pregnant, especially when you're expecting, you are almost due, is what I was doing. I was walking down. We're living on a 2-story building here. So I walked down the stairs. It was like 10 to 15, up and down, up and down. And when I was going to work, from where I lived to where the hospital was, Eastern Regional Hospital, I usually take a taxi. And then when I get to the main market, I walked. Yeah, that's another. You don't need to go to the gym to do this. So do extra walking. If you are not working around this time, you can go for walks in the mornings or in the evenings with your husband or with any family member or friend. Swimming is also a good thing you can do. Not a marathon swimming, but just something easy for you to do. We will not encourage cycling, especially when you're around 9 months, because it's difficult. But then you can just lie down on your back and then pretend to be moving, because cycling will be so heavy to sit on it. Trying to play board games too can also help. And then general exercises. When you check YouTube, you find safe exercises that you can do. It's also very good. You know, when you go to the labor and they say push, they don't want you to do that. Right now you can sit at home and try, but then they want you to start do it from your belly. Yeah, it's like you are pushing down. There are two differences. That's why when you go, there's a difference between it. When you go to these maternity class, they teach you sit on a ball and they teach you how to do the breathe in and breathe out. You can actually push from your throat. Sit down and you can do it's just from here, but then there's this kind of pushing. You're exerting pressure on your abdomen, just like you have constipation and you are trying to poop. So you when you are in the labor ward, especially in the villages, you hear the women cry, "Auntie Ness, mpacho meja menayo say jawonai poo." When you come to Accra and these private hospitals, like, "Please, I want to visit the washroom. I think I want to poo," and then you hear the nurses saying poo, because they feel it's your baby. So the same way when you have constipation and you're trying to push out, you are exerting pressure on your abdomen. That's the same way you're pushing out baby, because it's the same muscles, not the same, but then they are close. When you look at the anatomy of the woman, where the rectum is and where the bladder is and where the uterus is, they are close. So when you are pushing, just like you want to poo, that's the same way you are pushing baby out. So brushing of teeth is one thing women come to the consulting room to ask a lot. "My baby doesn't allow me to brush my teeth." I'm like, if the baby is still small, if the baby is still young, you put from 0 to even 1 year, because at 1 year The maximum number of teeth most of them will have is 6 to 8. So right from day one, clean their mouth. You put a towel, right? And then you put in lukewarm water or even normal water, and then you just wipe it over their gums and in their tongue. So you're just wiping it like this. Yeah. Some people will say they add glycerin to it. You can. Others say tomatoes because tomatoes takes the scent off. If they are taking just breast milk, you can do just water and then the towel. That's okay if it's just breast milk. God is wonderful. He knows what he's doing. So just breast milk, fine. But when they start other feeding, you definitely will have to brush their tongue. There's a special silicone that is sold in these mother care. You put it on your finger and then there are these tiny bristles here. You can use it. But if you do not have this, just the towel wrapped around your finger, you go around their gums like this, and then the tongue, you just do this. That's okay. When they are 1 year and they have teeth, they've grown number of teeth size 6 to 8, and you want to use a brush, you can. We have tiny brushes for babies. If not, you can still use the towel and then you just wipe the teeth. Yeah. The tongue is very important because tongue sucks in food products. So you always remember to clean the tongue. It's very important. So it's very difficult. It gets to a time they do not want to do it themselves. And there are special types of toothpaste for children. They have less elements in it. So for babies or children between 1 and 3 years, you want to use, even 1 to 5 years, you want to use the toothpaste that is specifically meant for them. Being a mother and working at the same time is difficult. You need help. I went back to work when baby was 3 months, and I could not have done it without my mother. My mother has been our backbone support. She's been there throughout my pregnancy, and then now she's the main primary parent in my baby's life. And my husband too helped, of course. So going to work, anytime I'm in the consulting room, my mom calls me, I get scared. What is happening that she's calling me? First time, if I'm with a patient, I do not pick. But she calls second time, third time, I excuse myself and go pick because I always get scared. Like, why is she calling? Because she knows, I've told her when she calls, if it's not an emergency and she calls just one time, she should know I'm with a patient. It's difficult. You need help. I get home, I leave home around 7 a.m. and I get home after 9 p.m. Who takes care of baby when I'm away? It's just my mother. So I give her guidelines if she's feeding baby and there's something that she doesn't get or understand. If baby is not eating, she will call and say, Mommy, Nanama doesn't want to eat. Lou is doing this. Lou, she doesn't like this. Then I will just guide her through. So you need someone. If you do not have a parent, your in-laws can help, family and friends can help, and even house helps. But just make sure that the person is doing the right thing. I remember we had a patient that came in and her baby wasn't gaining weight. So we asked her the amount of food the baby was eating, and she could not tell because the house help would just say she did not eat. And so where's the rest of the food? She's thrown it away. So you cannot measure how much she ate. And that's something to worry about. So whoever you are leaving your baby with, just make sure to go, you should have a process you walk them through, because when babies start using bottle for feeding, it's one source of gastrointestinal infections. They come to the hospital a lot with vomiting and diarrhea just because the people handling these things are not doing it well. So just make sure the person handling your baby and things concerned with the food, personal hygiene, is practicing personal hygiene and preparing her food or his food in a good environment, and basically knows what to do, how to warm the milk, not to overheat it, not to boil the milk. All these things are things you need to teach people. It doesn't matter if the person has had a child before. No. Do not think that the person knows what she's doing. Walk her through. It's your child. So I want you to give cocoa at this time. I want you to give this cereal at this time. I want you to give potompoto at this time, rice at this time. Can I give your baby chicken, fried chicken? It's your baby. No, I don't think you should. Or is the baby ready to have that? Should I give baby 1 full egg when baby is 3 months? No. So these are things, when you have spoken to the doctor and you've understood what's good for your baby, make sure to explain it to your children's caregivers so that they do the right thing. So my main challenge as a mother is not getting enough time for my baby. I'm a medical doctor. I enjoy what I do, but family first. People ask me, I was in Koforidua Government Hospital and now I'm in Accra. I have a couple of reasons why, I'm in Tem actually. I have a couple of reasons why I left Koforidua, and on the top of the list is family time. I want to make time for my family. Everyone is different, but this is me. I'm finding it difficult, the number of hours I'm spending away from home and the number of time I spend at home. And so anytime I'm off, I just want to give everything to baby. That's been my main challenge. Apart from that, my mom, my father, my husband are really helping, and I'm grateful. When she looks up, she hasn't started saying mama. Last week, my mom and my dad were arguing over this word. Anytime she sees any of them, she says, So my father is saying it's grandpa, my mom is saying it's grandma. And my husband and I are also praying in our own closets for her to say ma or dad first. But anytime I go home or I go to my parents and she sees me, the smile and the eagerness that she runs to me, like, this is my baby, that same baby I pushed out from my vagina, this is her. Oh, okay, that's nice. So it's nice, that feeling that she recognized me as her mother and she runs to me. Recently, she's learned how to, when you say, Lou, give me a kiss, she's like, it's so nice. So, yeah.
This video was brought to you by Grace and Smiles, guaranteed nutrition for your family.